first unearthed 10 years ago. Researchers spent a decade digging up more than 100 pieces of yellowish bone at the bottom of a Patagonian hillside. Using those fragments, they were eventually able to digitally reconstruct a skeleton. Scientists estimate this herbivorous dinosaur grew up to 4 meters long and it weighed around a ton. But the most fascinating aspect of this discovery was its location on the map. The remains of duck-billed dinosaurs like Gonkona nanoi had previously only been found in the northern hemisphere. Now that the skeleton has been recreated, scientists are working to solve the mystery of how this particular species came to be in South America. Well, maybe we can understand a bit more about this mystery now with my guest, Carolina Gutstein, who is a paleontologist at Paleoconsultores. She is also the co-author in this study that confirmed the existence of Gonkonan nanoi. She joins us from Santiago. This is very exciting, but actually it's an investigation that's been going on for about 10 years now.
Yes. Hello, Miriam.
Yes, can you hear me? It's lovely to have you with us, Carolina.
Yes, I hear you well. Thank you.
Can you tell us more about the discovery of this species of dinosaur? You first came across its fossilized remains some 10 years ago. What more have we learnt about this creature in the past decade?
Well, the location of the dinosaur was not only surprising because of the south of this finding, right, considering his relatives, but also was very difficult to reach. It is in the Patagonia in Chile, so you have to walk several hours from the last house. You can see, actually, I traveled 2 days to get there, the time I went. So it's a remote location with very difficult logistics to dig the bones. And we have just a window of January to February to dig because otherwise it's always snowy.
How did tell me, was this just a regular expedition because, you know, these digs will happen in the Patagonia region, or did someone anticipate that this discovery might be made?
Yeah, well, there was notice that from local people, right? Actually, the name of this dinosaur is honoring one of them, Mario Nano, which helped a lot during the logistics. It's the last house from the site, 4-hour walking from there, more or less. So people would know. And then INACH, which is the National Institution for the Antarctic and Subantarctic Research from Chile, began to go there to do mostly paleobotanist studies. And then, well, they found the bones and they let vertebrate paleontologists know. So lots of universities came in and different specialities to the different sites. And this is one of the results of this team.
It's an incredible discovery, and I know that obviously dinosaur fossils do exist and they're found in many parts of the world, but how can you be sure of the identity of something like this, and how is it preserved after all this time?
Yeah, so these are very important questions. We have several methods to answer those questions, actually. One is phylogenetics, which is like a genealogy of the species, like to know their relatives. So we go after like every millimeter of the bones looking for characters that are similar or different. And we have to compare with all the other dinosaurs that are already described. So this was led by the leading author of this work, which is Jonathan Alarcon, which he's a PhD student, a very great one. And well, my contribution to this work was about the preservation of the specimen and how this could translate in, is it a one specimen? Because we have like hundreds of bones. So is it one species that is in all these bones, or Are they a lot of species? This makes much difference, right?
Yeah.
Because you have different things going on there. We cannot have be sure about what you're saying. So one important part of it was digging very carefully after several years. Actually, say the first bones were discovered around 2008, 2009. And actually, I went to the field in 2019, so we could actually make elaborate descriptions and very careful work on samples of sediments, so we can see like if there was currents, in which kind of environment there was. So we
Can
can
I
actually
ask you
say,
about that then? Because it's the location of this discovery that is the most significant thing, this duck-billed dinosaur. We knew that it existed in the northern hemisphere, but how it came to be in these remote southern lands. I mean, what does this mean for the sort of, yeah, I mean, would they have been, would they have originated in this place, or would they have migrated from the northern hemisphere? I mean, there's so many questions that arise from this.
yeah, that's right. So one of the things that were discovered with several of the analysis was that actually it is relative from North American clade group that migrate much earlier than thought. Uh, like the dinosaurs that were the most common duck-billed dinosaurs that are known were already widespread in the end of the Cretaceous, right? Like around the 65 million. And this clade was originated around 90 million and then migrate. And then we have the Gonkoken there at around the 70 million already. And in the most south portion of the hadrosauroids. So it'll be like very similar to hadrosaurs, but not quite. It would be a little bit more primitive, if you can say, like a relative, an old grandpa or something.
Well, it's a very exciting investigation. It's going to be great to see what else emerges from it. Thank you very much, Karina Gutstein, for joining us, paleontologist